So it looks like we are getting some information now about the true reasons behind Donald Trump deciding to order the assassination of Qassem Soleimani, who was the leader of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, the Quds Force. So this was reported on in the Wall Street Journal, and I believe the New York Times reported on it as well. This is Salon reporting on those reports. Trump privately admits he killed Soleimani under pressure from upcoming impeachment trial report. President Donald Trump privately told associates that his upcoming impeachment trial factored heavily into his decision to kill top Iranian General Qassem Soleimani, the Wall Street Journal reports. Trump, after the strike, told associates he was under pressure to deal with General Soleimani from GOP senators he views as important supporters in his upcoming impeachment trial in the Senate. Associates of the president told the outlet. The revelation, buried deep in a lengthy piece about the strike, follows a similar report from the New York Times. Trump pointed out to one person who spoke to him on the phone last week that he had been pressured to take a harder line on Iran by some Republican senators whose support he needs now more than ever amid an impeachment battle, the Times reported Tuesday. The operation was planned very quickly, a U.S. official told the Journal. There was not unanimity among Trump's advisors about the wisdom of targeting Soleimani, but intelligence suggested they plan more attacks on American troops in the region. We obviously know that's a bunch of BS. Soleimani was in fact in Iraq trying to ease tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, and Iraq was playing the kind of mediator within that. And then more lies about, Pompeo saying that the Soleimani assassination was to prevent a imminent attack. Let's see. And then, this goes again about how Pompeo was saying, it was an imminent attack, but we don't know when or where, but it was going to happen at some time. So that's imminent. Oh my goodness. So this is a pretty big revelation, and I was speculating before that one of the reasons that Trump assassinated or ordered the assassination of Soleimani was to take tension away from his impeachment trial, and this definitely did it for the time being. It's been reported that Pelosi will send the articles of impeachment to the Senate next week, so that Senate impeachment trial of Trump will be starting pretty soon. But we now have the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times reporting that Trump had told associates basically that he was feeling pressure by certain Republican senators to take an even harder line approach to Iran, which is pretty, nuts to even think that they're wanting that, considering Trump had pulled out of the Iran agreement. They leveled these hugely, draconian sanctions against the country, which is just a form of economic warfare that's hugely, that contributes to a huge amount of suffering and death to the Iranian population. But even some Republicans wanted him to even be having more extreme stance towards Iran, and assassinating Qasem Soleimani, their one of their top generals, that basically second in command of the country, is quite an escalation. So I hope it was worth it for Trump. I hope those Republican senators that he thought he needed to garner some more support from for this impeachment trial, help him out in that way. But I don't think he really needed to assassinate Soleimani in order to guarantee that the Republicans are going to, vote not guilty, vote to not convict him in this impeachment trial. And there's only been a few that have said, they'd be okay with witnesses being called, but besides that, I haven't really heard any Republicans in the Senate saying that they, would vote to convict him. So it seems kind of a silly reason to potentially get us into World War III, is Trump needing to, or thinking he needs to, shore up Republican support in the Senate for his impeachment trial. But like I said, not surprising. I definitely called it previously that I thought one of the reasons that Trump may have ordered this assassination of Soleimani was, in fact, to take away attention from, his impeachment. And I mean, it's almost. I mean, this is the hubris and sense of entitlement that Donald Trump has and just oozes out of him. He was willing to potentially get the U.S. involved, what could very well have turned into like a World War III type of conflict in order to, gain some political support from these Republican senators for his impeachment trial. He was willing to potentially start another world war in order to, have some better outcomes in his impeachment trial. This is the president of the United States, and if this didn't make it clear, obviously it should have been pretty crystal clear before, but he's willing to say and do anything in order to stay in power, and that includes ordering the illegal assassination, both under U.S. law and international law, of this top general of Iran, Qassem Soleimani, just to bolster his political support among the Republican senators. So I just don't know why anybody would honestly be in favor of Trump at this point and supporting him. You got to be really down and down. A lot of that Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and Mark Levine type of Kool-Aid to be supporting Trump at this point. He's not for the betterment of the working people in the United States or the globe. He doesn't take climate change seriously. All of his tax cuts basically went to the top 1%, and he's willing, along with a huge number of other problems, he's horribly, racist and xenophobic, and he's willing to, get the U.S. entangled in, another war just to booster his, political support among the Republican senators. This is why we need to do everything we can to make sure we get Bernie elected. He's the one real shot that we have of, radically or of implementing these radically progressive policies that we desperately need in this country, and restraining the executive branch, and putting somebody in there who's not trying to get us into these endless and senseless wars. But like I said, not surprising, but still very disturbing to see that the actual reason that Trump ordered the assassination of Soleimani was for political purposes. Like I said, I wouldn't put it past him. It's not that surprising, but it's still very disturbing to read that our president's willing to, sacrifice lives and resources just for his own political gain. That's Donald Trump in a nutshell. Again, willing to say and do anything to booster his political support, no matter how much death and destruction it could cause. Those are my thoughts. Share them in the comment sections down below, please, if you have any. And help me get to 100 subscribers, because once I do, I will take a polar plunge, and it's currently winter here in the Pacific Northwest, and my daughter, Christiane, will also do it with me.